My name is Tiffany Allen, and I want to talk about climate justice and the event I went to in collaboration with Sunrise Movement Pittsburgh called Climate Justice Art in the Park. So here I just want to talk about climate justice and what that means. So the climate crisis not only focuses on the environment that causes extreme weather events such as wildfires, flooding, storm surges, tornadoes, and droughts, but it also focuses on the human crisis, and that links human rights and development so that the rights are protected for vulnerable populations, and that the burdens and benefits of climate change are shared equally amongst everybody so that it's equal and fair. The climate crisis itself is not equally felt around the world. This is because extreme events affect minorities, indigenous people, underserved communities, and poor communities disproportionately. And the reason is because fossil fuels are placed in these communities mentioned above, as they are negatively affecting their health and contributes to climate change. So next you'll be seeing some clips that depict climate justice and how it perpetuates extreme weather events and how vulnerable populations are being negatively affected by these extreme weather events.
Texas A&M Forest Service. One person has died, 150 structures have burned, entire communities have been evacuated. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, which spotted the fires from space, says they've been fueled by a favorable mix of warm temperatures, low humidity, and strong winds. But what about climate change? Is that making wildfires worse? For answers, I'm looking at studies from the National Center for Atmospheric Research and Texas A&M University, plus talking to Dr. Mark Cochran, a wildfire expert at the University of Maryland Center for Environmental Science.
Is climate change making wildfires worse in the United States?
Yes. Climate changes that we are experiencing are quite demonstrably making wildfires worse and harder to control.
Okay, but how? Let's start with the fact that humans burn coal and other carbon-based fuels. That sends massive amounts of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. And carbon dioxide is really good at trapping in heat. This line shows more and more carbon in the atmosphere over the last 140 years. And this is global average temperature. In 2020, the average temperature was 2.14 degrees Fahrenheit warmer since the time when we first started burning coal. This research paper from scientists at the National Center for Atmospheric Research finds because of that warming, there is a drift of the Southwest climate into a drier state. Dr. Cochran says that drier state helps dry out vegetation, making it easier to burn.
And so that, more often we're going to have these conditions where those fuels are so dry that the fire behavior will be much more explosive.
So now I'll be talking about an event I went to on August 16th in collaboration with Sunrise Movement Pittsburgh called Climate Justice Art in the Park. So while at the event, we discussed what climate justice looks like through an article. So after listening and reading this article and discussing with other people who were at the event, I got an understanding of how climate justice really affected these two people and the friend who went to California, as they saw that they experienced wildfires and how it disproportionately affected these vulnerable communities in California. Also, while at the event, there was art drawing, as we wanted the participants and ourselves to draw what we thought climate justice looked to us. So before I show my drawing, I want to show what fracking sites look like when they're placed behind people's homes, as my drawing probably doesn't depict how tall these fracking sites are, such as well pads and oil rigs, when placed behind people's homes. And so this is what I drew. So as you can see here, the two arrows are pointing to oil rigs and fracking well pad. And those are what are contributing to what you call fracking. And the brown markings that you see are just the oil spurting out. And you can see there's like squiggly lines coming from it, and that is just showing fixtures and how it's digging down into the earth so that it can get the oil. And then below it, you can see 3 different pictures here depicting extreme weather events. So on the left, you can see that there's a wildfire and the burning of a home and trees in the community or neighborhood. And then next to it, to your right, is how a tornado / hurricane is now taking and breaking apart the home and bringing trees along with it. And then last, to the far right, you can see a tsunami happening because of storm surges, and it's crushing the home. These are all being caused by what you saw I showed you first, which was the oil rig and the fracking well pad, as those contribute to climate change, and the climate change are what are causing those extreme weather events that I just showed you. At the bottom here, I'm trying to show that this is all happening to 2 Black people and an Indigenous person, as the Indigenous person with the red marking on their head is crying, and so is one of the Black people as well, because they're all devastated that they are having to live in this community or area where their homes are being destroyed by these extreme weather events, and they don't know what to do. But yes, that is just my depiction of what I believe climate justice is and how it negatively affects vulnerable populations. And that's all I have. But I just want to leave you all with a few things. And that is climate justice not only affects the environment and how it perpetuates extreme weather events, but it also is a human rights issue as it negatively affects vulnerable populations disproportionately. And that's why, as environmentalists, we want to educate people on this issue, and we know that it's very important as that this is something that needs to be tackled. Thank you.